Hey guys, Phil here, hope you're well. What you're looking at in front of you is my LCR meter. Now what I want to do today is I want to mod this and I'm going to add some really nice Kelvin clips. So if you stick around, I'll crack on with that. Now you may be asking yourself, why do I want to modify this? What's wrong with it? Well, two things. The first is these are Kelvin clips, by the way guys, but look how thin the wire is. It's super thin. And second, look how short it is. What am I supposed to do with that? Right? I mean, it's ridiculous. My friend summed it up perfectly. It's like giving a T-Rex a knife and fork. What you're supposed to do with that. So yeah, I'm gonna fit some nice Kelvin clips to this, and then we should have a really nice LCR meter. Now the first thing I need to do is get inside this little box. So I'm going to take my screwdriver and remove some screws. There we go. And we're in. What I need to do next is remove the PCB inside. Again, just a few screws. There we go, that's those removed, and the PCB should just come straight out. Winner winner, chicken dinner. Okay, what I want to do now is obviously remove the old Kelvin clips. Now to do that, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to cut this cable tie, remove that, and you can probably hear my desoldering station in the background. So it's already heated up, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to remove the old solder and remove clips. And that should be one of them gone. Yep, that's one. It's a positive gone. For the negative, bit of a ground plane on this one. There we go. And that should be, come on, there you go. And bent the wire over, that's the problem. There you go, it should come out now. Just make sure all those holes are clear. Yep, all clear. And that's that ready to accept the new Kelvin clips. So if you take a look at my new Kelvin clips, they've got BNC connectors on the end. You can see them there. Now these are super easy to get off. All you do is just push your finger there, and then you can unscrew them, take them off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down to size and prep them to install in the new clip connector. I'm going to keep these BNCs because I can reuse them. So what I've done off camera is I've just done some prep work, and I'll show you what I've done. So if we take a look at these Kelvin probes, this is going to be number 1 and this is going to be number 2 on the negative probe, and this is going to be number 1 and this is going to be number 2 on the positive probe. And if you take a look at the silk screen, you can see it says -1, -2 and +2, +1, and that obviously the plus are the plus leads and the negative are the negative leads. And what I've done is, just to separate 1 and 2, I put a little dot there that indicates that it's number 1, and obviously this will be number 2. And also what I've done as well, if you look, I put a little stripe down the wire for the negative leaves so I don't get them mixed up. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spend 5 minutes solder these wires in. Okay, let's start with the ground. That can go in there. Turn it over and we'll solder that in. Leave it for a second. Let the solder flow through to the opposite side. Now I can come in and do my, flip them like that, do my number 1, which is there, and obviously this is the positive lead that I'm working on. So put that there, solder that in. Again, just leave it a few seconds, let the solder flow through, and we'll come in and we'll do the other lead. And again, leave that there for a few seconds, let the solder flow through. So now I've done that one, guys, I'll do the other one off camera. It's just the same. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and then come back. And that's the Kelvin clips all soldered in, and as you can see, put a little cable tie there for strain relief. What I'm going to do now is get this back in its housing and we can give it a test. As you can see, that's the new Kelvin probes all hooked up. Time to give them a test. So I've got the probes hooked up to my LCR meter. Now the first thing I need to do is calibrate them, because obviously they're new probes, so I'm just going to hold the calibration button. As you can see, it says open, so you need to leave them apart. I'm going to press the cal button again, and it's counting down and doing its tests. So hopefully when we get down to 0 we get a pass. And there we go, passed. Now what I need to do is press the button again, and it will tell me to short the probes this time. So I'm just going to do that off camera just for a second. Be back in a quick second. As you can see, I've shorted the Kelvin probes together. Let's press the button, and again it counts down from 30 and it's doing its thing, and hopefully again when this gets down to 0 we get a pass. Pass, there we go. So our new Kelvin probes are working fantastic. What I'm going to do now is get a few components and then we'll do a real test, testing those components. Let's test a capacitor. So what I've got here is a 10 microfarad electrolytic capacitor, and if we take a look at my LCR meter, it's telling us it's pretty much nuts on. Now the ESR 7.7 ohms, it's a little bit high, but you need to remember this is a Chong-X capacitor, so not a very good brand, but you can see at 100 Hertz and it's pretty much nuts on. Let's change the frequency, we'll go up to 120 Hertz. You can see still within spec, 9.953. We go up in frequency again. There you go, took a few seconds to get the reading, but you can see it's at 9.1. It's still technically within spec, but we are testing it at 1 kilohertz. If we go to 10k, you can see now it's out of spec, right? And if we go to 100 kilohertz, we can see it's miles out of spec. So yeah, when you're testing capacitors, you should really test them at 100 hertz or 120 hertz. But yeah, you can see that capacitors within spec. ESR's a little high, but yeah, it is a Chong-X. So yeah, capacitance testing is working great. So what I've gone and got now is an inductor. Now this inductor is 15 microhenries. So if we go and look at my LCR meter, you can see it has a reading of 14.6 microhenries, so well within spec at 1 kilohertz. So yeah, it's reading inductance really nice as well. What I've gone and grabbed now, guys, is a resistor. This is a 51 ohm resistor. I like to test these leads with low ohms because then you can really test how good the leads are. So 51 ohms is really nice. And if we take a look at the LCR meter, we can see 50.56 ohms for that resistor, which is absolutely well within spec for a 51 ohm resistor. So yeah, it looks like these Kelvin probes are working absolutely fantastic. So yeah, these new Kelvin probes are working perfect with my LCR meter. So yeah, there you go, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Winner. I've got some nice probes now. And my LCR meter doesn't look like a T-Rex. Catch you next time, guys.